Should companies have integrity? Absolutely. You read an ingredient list, which I'm always encouraging you to do, and it's not on there. How do you even know what you're taking in? So that is my first issue with this. Hey, it's Cher, and you are watching or listening to the Style and Stewardship podcast on YouTube. So I wanted to get into something today that came up as a question from several people around me, and this is all about LMNT, also known as LMNT. So I want to preface this by a couple of things. The first thing that I want to preface this by is by saying I am not affiliate of this company. I am not an affiliate. I am not sponsored by this company by any way or anything like that. I do have a referral link that it's typically in my description on my YouTube channels because this is something that I typically use and buy and even give to my family. So how did I feel when I found out one of the ingredients in question that is in the LMNT packets, how I felt about that? If you are wondering, stay tuned. So this is what we wanted to get into. So there is a ingredient that LMNT has within it that is not disclosed on the packaging, and that is maltodextrin. So what is maltodextrin and why is it not listed on the packets? And where is all this, like, what's the issue with it? What's the controversy? If you're wondering what even is that, I'm here to just describe what that is, why they used it, and I'm not here to defend any company, nor am I here to tell you that, oh, go ahead and drink it if you want it. Here's the thing. Everything that I share on this channel, I am constantly saying, read your ingredients so you can make informed decisions about your health, what is and is not going to benefit you, your family, or be something that's beneficial to your wellness. And that goes without saying, but if this is the first time you've ever watched this channel, you may not have caught like maybe a grocery haul that I've done or maybe a recipe that I've done. I like to share things that are going to be beneficial to you and to your family. And I'm always saying it's really, really important to know what you're putting in your body so that you know how to really steward your health. And you can't do that if you don't know what you're eating, what you're taking in, and how that's going to impact your body. So if you are someone who deals with a lot of food sensitivities, who you've had to cut things out of your diet, you're in the right place because that is our lives here. And I had to learn what it meant for us to be well, what it meant for us to be healthy, in spite of having to cut out things like dairy and gluten. There are a lot of things that we are sensitive to or have allergies to in my family. So when you read an ingredient list, which I'm always encouraging you to do, and it's not on there, how do you even know what you're taking in? So that is my first issue with this, is that it is not listed on the label. I also want to say, if you are someone who has watched this channel before, you will see that I am in no means a perfect eater, nor do I strive for perfection when it comes to my food. I truly believe that living in a place of anxiety about what I'm going to eat or what I've been exposed to is not healthy in and of itself. So if you have allergies, you are probably not, this is not your first rodeo when it comes to making sure that what you're taking in doesn't have ingredients that you should not be having or that do not work well for your current health circumstance. So this product, LMNT, has a ingredient in it called maltodextrin. So what even is maltodextrin? Maltodextrin is a type of additive, and the reason why companies can get away with not listing exact things on their ingredient list and not necessarily disclosing those things to the public is this. It's something that's used in a really, really small amount, and I'll put what they have on their website as far as the fact, or what they say, that it doesn't have, it's derived from corn. It is 1/10 of a teaspoon per packet. So that's not a lot. But if you are sensitive to something, or if something is going to bother you, that might be a lot for your body. I can't make that determination for you. Only you can do that. And that's one of the biggest issues with this, is they didn't disclose that. And now it's come up and it's turned into this big controversy, big issue. And the thing that I like about this, which that may sound like a crazy thing to say, and the more that we are starting to get educated about what we're putting in our body. And the more that we're able to learn what these different chemicals are, what these different things that companies are using, the better we are to really discern what we're putting into our bodies and how that may or may not be impacting our health and our wellness individually. We're all sensitive to different things, right? Let's talk about that for a moment. I talk a lot about food sensitivities and really trying to help you to continue to be well with the foods that you can eat and with the things that are beneficial to you. If you are someone who is concerned about corn, then this is a product that maybe you don't want to take. They also have stated that the reason why they put that in there and didn't list it on the label is because that it is a carrier of flavor. So it's natural flavors. But that's where I want to talk about. I wanted to use this as an opportunity to show you that this is in so many products. This is ubiquitous when it comes to packaged foods that want to have some sort of flavor profile. Am I saying that it's okay? That's not what I'm saying. But I am saying that this is everywhere. So if you are someone who likes to go to the fancy coffee shops and you like to get the different flavorings and syrups in your drinks, you are already taking in this product. You are already taking in maltodextrin, the company that they're using a non-GMO corn, and that they're using, it is gluten-free as well, which that is one of the things that I share on my channel a lot, which is gluten-free and dairy-free products. And because so many people are like us, like, what the heck do I eat when I cut out gluten? What the heck can I eat and still be healthy? And what can I swap and still have, the flavors that I'm used to and things like that? One of the things that I'm also always sharing on this channel is that not only do I not eat perfectly, I'm not here to tell you, oh, eat perfectly, whatever that means. As I like to point out, this is not Eden, right? Nothing is like perfect here. So I really like to look at this in terms of what's going to work well for you. But how do you know that if you can't make an informed decision about what's in a product? Whenever we are getting something from a package, or through a drive-through, or someone else cooked it, we are always going to be exposing ourselves to something that we wouldn't necessarily cook with, that we may not carry in our kitchen, that we are, for the sake of convenience, maybe we're getting away with eating like 10% of our diet in that manner, which is out of a package and things like that. But anytime we're eating out of a package, that's not fresh. They have to put preservatives in them. They have to, do things to enhance the flavor so it's not bland. And I don't say have to, like there's no way around that. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying for companies to get you to want to buy their product, they add things to make them taste in a way that you would prefer. And I am a huge, huge proponent of making informed decisions about what you are eating. And when you're paying for something, I think that at the very least, I'm not telling a company to give away their proprietary, you may have someone in your family who's like, this is my mac and cheese recipe, or this is my such and such, and only the people in my family have access to this recipe. So big companies do that as well too. They want to stay competitive. They want to have a certain way of doing things so that they differentiate themselves in the market. They make themselves stand out in the market. I get it, right? From a business standpoint, I get it, right? What is beneficial to our health, what is not? And knowing that if you got something out of a package, that it is going to be made in a way that things are not made in your kitchen. My point in saying all of this is there is going to be something in whatever packaged item you buy that you would not necessarily put in your food when you're cooking in your kitchen. And this is no different. Anything that we buy out of a package or that we get through a drive-through window, or that someone else made, we're going to be exposed to things that we wouldn't necessarily use, or it's going to be cooked in a way that we wouldn't necessarily cook it. So when we go to restaurants, for example, and unless it's disclosed, this restaurant uses, peanut oil, or this restaurant uses avocado oil, which that needs to happen somewhere. These things, typically when you go through a drive-through and you you order fries, they're not also telling you that there's an anti-foaming agent that your French fries were deep fried in, that oil has been used for 1 week, and there's a chemical in there that keeps the oil from foaming over. They're not telling you that. That is, and since it's only small bits, so they say, are in your finished French fry product, now you're like, and I say product, now you're like, okay, well, it's French fries. And to our minds, we're like, okay, well, these French fries are salt, oil, and potatoes. But there's more going on. There's more under the surface, because this is a processed food item. Anytime we are dealing with packaged foods, we're dealing with some sort of processing on a commercial level, on a bigger scale. And because of that, companies not only want to keep costs down, but they also want to have things that are done in a way that the next company can't just copy and steal their corner of the market. So when we're buying food, we're buying from businesses, right? We're buying from companies that, why is a business in business? To make profit, to make money, right? They want to make as much as they possibly can, right? And have as biggest of a margin as they possibly can. And for whatever reason, we forget that this is not just food. This is now a company's product. Should companies have integrity? Absolutely. Should companies be doing things above bar? Absolutely. So this is an opportunity to say, hey, is this something that's going to be good for me or for my family? Is this something that's going to benefit me and my health? Is this the best approach for me to replenish electrolytes in my body? That's for you to decide. Personally, I think that, this is better than buying, some sports drinks. I'm not going to name any names, because those sports drinks will have things like dyes in it. And do I think that this is a better product than those? Absolutely. Do I touch that other stuff? Absolutely not. And that's just a personal thing that we do in my house. We're not having artificial dyes. That's just one of my non-negotiables. So for you, it might be something different. For your family, if you are completely avoiding certain things, then this is absolutely not okay. It's not okay that this company didn't disclose that. So that's kind of the way that I approach wellness, and the products that we decide to use, and the things that we support and the things that we don't. It is based on, hey, is this something that works for us? Is this something that is going to benefit our health, or is this something that is going to cause harm? Does this fall underneath our dietary needs, our dietary restrictions? Is this something that's going to impact us negatively because we have a sensitivity to it? And all of those things, those are the questions that we need to be asking when we eat anything, in my opinion. And I get passionate about this because I'm like, this is the point, right? We can't make good decisions about our wellness if we're not making them, or if we're trusting someone else to make them for us. And when we're buying from anything that came out of a package, or anything that came out of a drive-through window, or, people are already exposed to the additives that are in this product. And, whether that's cereal or granola bars or drinks or sodas or your specialty coffee drinks, you know what I mean? I just did a workshop not long ago, and I shared the ingredients list, which I do on this channel as well all the time. And I'm always saying, read your label. Why? So at least you're making an informed decision about what you're taking in. But you've got companies that are selling $5 and $6 coffee drinks, and they are laden with chemicals that you would not dare put in your body if you knew what they were. And this is no different. Reading our labels, making informed choices about our health and our wellness to the best of our ability. This is not about perfection. This is not about doing everything just right and just so, because I really believe that our bodies and the needs that our bodies have are so dynamic and ever changing, and we have different needs throughout the week, throughout the day, depending on our stress level and the things that our life is calling for us to do and to show up for. This thing is so deep, in my opinion, but it's also so simple. And if you don't want certain ingredients, then leave the packages where they are. And if this is something that you're like, wow, I didn't know this, and this is really making me like sit up and take notice, then a good thing has happened, because one of the best things that we can do for our health and for our wellness is to make choices that are going to serve the health of our bodies and the health of our family. So in light of all of those things, one of the things that I also share is anything that you buy out of a package, anything that you buy out of a package, you should be reading the ingredients anyways, right? I should be reading the ingredients. Do the best that you can and do what works for you, your health, your family, your budget, all of those things. Consider your unique health circumstance. Here's the thing though, this wasn't listed on the label, but I'm here to tell you that this is not the only brand or company that is doing this. So you may see things like natural flavors. So this is a flavor carrier, which is an additive. So they've decided we're not going to put maltodextrin on the actual label because it's such a small amount and because it is a carrier of flavors. What does that mean? So I am not a chemist, and I'm not a food chemist, and I'm not one of those people that gets paid millions and millions of dollars to literally create flavors in a lab that may have been derived from a natural food. And natural can mean anything. There are companies that use natural flavors that are derived from things that you would never even think, but because it came from the ground, they can call it natural. Just like if they have, if there is some sort of product out there that is made with, wheat, they can say it's plant-based. Just because it grew out of the ground, it can be plant-based or, what have you, or soy or anything like that. This is no different. So whenever, and I say this on the channel all the time, I buy things out of a package. It's not the bulk majority of the things that we're eating. We eat mostly real whole foods. We still do eat things from a package. We try to get things with the best ingredients possible. But as I always say, those things will still have ingredients within them that I wouldn't necessarily purchase to make my own food from. But in a crunch for convenience, there are certain brands that I don't mind incorporating into our diet. But this is when it gets really, really important for you to focus on what works for you, what makes you feel well, what makes what makes you thrive in your health, right? What's going to benefit you and what is going to, cause harm to you. So if this is something that you are concerned about, you could get the unflavored, you could skip electrolytes if you wanted to. So what are electrolytes? Electrolytes are extremely important for us. So that's going to be sodium, magnesium, potassium. Our body needs to have those to regulate the electrical functions between cells and their signaling. So if you are someone who works out regularly, if you're someone who sweats a lot, if you're someone who's under a lot of stress, we lose electrolytes through our sweat, through our feces, and through our urine. Because we're constantly losing these, our body needs to take these in because the body wants to stay in balance. It wants to stay in homeostasis. So just as I like to talk about macronutrients of our proteins, our fats, and our carbs, I also talk about things like minerals. I also talk about things like amount of phytonutrients that we're getting in and antioxidants to balance some of the less healthy or inflammatory fats and oils that we may be taking in. So the body constantly wants to be in balance, and this is no different. And many of us are not getting enough minerals. Many of us are not getting enough electrolytes because we're eating more packaged foods, because we're eating food from the ground that has really been degraded when it comes to those really, really beneficial minerals and trace minerals and vitamins and things like that because of synthetic chemicals that have been used and sprayed on our food. So, which is why we would like to err on the side of getting organic if we can. Our food, getting food that is natural, especially if it is an animal product. We definitely want to make sure that we're getting the best quality that we possibly can there. So that's just one of the things that I wanted to talk about. But here's the thing. If you are someone who is not avoiding corn, who can still eat corn, if you are someone who eats grain products, if you're someone who eats things from a package, then you may already be having maltodextrin. And just as this one has natural flavors, which is naturally derived, so many other companies have that. There was a bar that we ate a lot, and when I would share grocery hauls, I would share this bar all the time because it was kind of like my candy bar, but make it healthy, right? It was a little healthier because it had a good balance of those macronutrients. It had a good amount of protein, and I'm talking about the RX bar. If you're not familiar with that, I'll put a picture on the screen, but I used to share these in my grocery hauls all the time because you're getting a packaged item that has real food ingredients. So it had nuts in it, like cashews, it had egg whites, and it also had something like chocolate, but they would also add natural flavors. The more we eat real whole food ingredients, the better. So even with the packaged items that I share ones that work for us or that we're trying. And I always want to be fully transparent with anything that I'm sharing with you. Even finding out this information with the maltodextrin, corn is not something that I eat, but this has a corn derivative in it. So it has a corn derived additive in it. I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm still using it. I still use it. I give a half a pack to my kid on really, really sunny days where we've been out at the park all day and we're literally out there for 3 hours and he's like about to drip sweat. I'm going to try to replenish his electrolytes, you know? I don't want him to get dehydrated. And that's what I wanna share. So if you are someone who is sensitive to corn, you might want to skip this. You might want to find an alternative. But anytime we are getting something out of a package, we are trusting whatever that person is putting in the package. This goes the same for if we are in a drive-thru and we are picking something up. If we are getting something from the deli section, anytime someone else is making our food, they have the ability, right, to not necessarily, well, they're doing things maybe not necessarily in the way that we would do them. If you go to eat at someone's house, it's the same scenario. So in and having the most information so you can make informed decisions is what I'm all about. So finding this out, I wanted to share it with you because I do have a referral link and I do use it, and I have talked about it on the, I want to say the supplements video that I did. This is still something that I take. I like it for its convenience, and I like that the amounts are measured already for me, so I don't have to do that. I like it. I buy it for convenience, which is why I buy anything else that I buy out of a package. It's because of convenience. And I'm trying to get the healthiest, convenient option for me, and that works for me and for my family. So I just wanted to share that, and I wanted to just remind you that anything that's out there, even anything that I share on this channel, I always say do what works for you. You should be your own health and wellness advocate because you're the one who can really impact your health and your wellness by your dietary choices. And as I say all the time, your life matters. Oh my gosh, your life matters. What you do with it matters. So what will you steward well? It is definitely your choice. Until next time, peace.